skinny people are more mentally stable. And no, it is not fatphobia, it is a fact. Hi, I'm Maria Paula Bermeo, clinical psychologist, and on this channel we talk about everything related to, of course, psychology. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Before starting this video, I want to remind you that I give in-person therapy. And if you're out of the city, I got you because I also give online therapy. If you need a consultation, please feel free to reach me out on my social media, my email, my phone number. All of them will be listed down below on the description box as well. I heard about the article I'm Happier When I'm Skinny by Jaimee Marshall a few months ago. It has been on my radar and I've been wanting to talk about it for a while, and that time has finally come. In a world in which body positivity has been dominating, a place where even saying the word skinny has become a sin, Jaimee's bravery to write and publish her take, it's admirable, and it has pushed me to back her position as well. For the last decade, if not a bit more, everyone has been raising awareness about anorexia, bulimia, orthorexia, how being severely underweight can be so detrimental for our lives, how those eating disorders have been motivated by the unattainable beauty standards set by the media, how celebrities, magazines, news outlets promoting the toxic diet culture in our faces, basically forcing us to be extremely thin, debunking fat diets and useless weight loss products, calling out influencers like the Kardashians for selling their flat tummy teas, fat burning pills, lollipops, or whatever. In less words, society has gotten together to spread the message that you don't need to be extremely thin to be beautiful, which in theory is great. But what happens when we go to the other extreme, to the well-known body positivity, fat acceptance, health at every size movements? It seems that when it comes to these movements, it gets kind of cultish, because once you get in, you're expected to desire to be fat, to condemn exercise and balanced diets as fatphobic and racist, to despise thinness for being elitist and sexist, and talk anybody that is following a balanced diet as an eating disorder promoter, when they are just sharing actual healthy habits. Sure, there are some over-restrictive videos out there, but there is even more content filled with crazy amounts of food and mostly junk food. Body positivity and health at every size activists are so blind to the damage they are endorsing. They get so defensive if you try to explain them why being overweight is not sane. I really recommend watching this video by Blaire. She makes an amazing breakdown of this topic. But it's the stubbornness of this group that has been influencing a huge part of the population, and that is the reason why this article needs to be talked about more. Not only directed on the physical aspect, but also the psychological one. So this article is quite long. I'll leave the link down below if you want to read it. I really recommend doing so. I'll be highlighting the most important parts to me to make a psychological analysis. The fat acceptance movement is not one born out of compassion but demoralization. Any acknowledgement that obesity is harmful to your health or lifespan is met with moralistic lectures about social stigma, accessibility, and the importance of representation. We are told to live and let live, when it's more realistically live and let die. The fat acceptance movement is not one born out of compassion but demoralization. It's a movement centered above all else on giving up. Giving in to your baseline hedonistic desires rather than demanding more of yourself so you can reach self-actualization. Obese patients do come to therapy looking for help because they've given up on everything. Some phrases they usually say are, "I don't really care about anything in my life. Why should I care about my body? Why should I look for any change? I'll just try to eat until I die because I've just given up on life." And you know what else they say? That they try to cover up their mental issues behind a mask of confidence and self-love, even when in real life they are far away from feeling good. Some clients come and say they use body positivity as a defense mechanism to cover up their food dependence, to cope with their negative feelings, because they actually lack the tools to do it in a functional way. Does this happen with other patients with different different bodies? Yes, but usually they are not promoting their habits on the internet as some kind of liberation because they are actually conscious that they have a problem. And when it comes to demoralization, obesity is actually a great way to portray it. Morals push us to have proper behaviors, and that involves conducts towards ourselves. Patients that suffer from overweight or obesity do lack morals because, again, they don't have the desire to respect themselves. They are usually tired of everything and they discharge their issues with others in a generally loud and noisy way. If they don't even treat themselves right, how are they going to be gentle with others? And guess what? Surprisingly, when they start to eat healthier, move more, and lose weight, their mood changes significantly. And this has a biological explanation. Because they start absorbing more nutrients, they feel less sluggish, their hormones stabilize, their brain and gut debloat because they are not eating excessive sodium, ultra-processed sugars, and saturated fats, hence why their mood is better and their perception of the world gets brighter. And as a result, they have a better behavior. They adapt more to different circumstances, they can take opinions with a grain of salt, and they value themselves and the ones surrounding them. However, coveted thinness need not be so problematic. It really isn't. You are entitled to your aesthetic preferences, whether that be a more muscular build or a slender frame. But implicit in all health and fitness discourse is that you can aspire to be anything but thin. To want to be thin is to admit that you've been brainwashed, that you are an unfortunate product of the diet culture holding women down. Eating disorder culture is out. Anti-eating disorder culture is in, and that's certainly for the better in some ways, but it's also led to hyperpathologization of the benign and harmless. You cannot praise healthy at any size being code for overweight, and disparage the size they choose when it's to be leaner or smaller. Women can want to be beautiful so long as the version of beauty is non-threatening. Non-threatening here is more about representation rather than intersexual competition. That doesn't adhere to dreaded Eurocentric beauty standards, but its double standard is not actually inclusive. It seems that nowadays body-positive activists are calling out people who decided to embark on a health journey as a defense mechanism to feel better about themselves. When someone from that community announces they are going to quit it, start a diet, and lose weight, their followers lose their minds. For those, the person is now promoting restriction and diet culture, are all of a sudden fatphobic. They start diminishing that individual ironically by shaming their physique just to feel superior, and when they see them succeeding, they just say that it is so disappointing because they stopped seeing the other person also harming themselves. But again, when patients see the benefits of having a healthier weight and diet, they learn balance. They learn to focus in more than just their weight. Their body stops being their entire identity, therefore they are able to set tons of goals and increasing their motivation, and they learn to actually be more compassionate and comprehensive with others, which they cannot do while being involved in fat positivity or fat acceptance because they are just there to bash everyone that doesn't live in a bigger body. And what about the process of self-improvement? The prospect of having a higher goal to work towards is an essential aspect of self-actualization. Why shouldn't we demand the best of ourselves? Exercise doesn't just banish fat and build muscle, but releases endorphins, boosting your mood and giving you higher energy. Some of us have the exercise bug, and some of us certainly don't. If you can't stand to sweat, hate lifting weights, and loathe cardio, do like the Parisians do and walk. And I love this take. Exercise overall is meant to be enjoyed. I always recommend finding something that you like. Not everyone desires to go to the gym and lift weights. Some find joy on Pilates, yoga, running, CrossFit, tennis, dancing, whatever makes you move your body without feeling as if you are being punished. Because contrary to what body positivity may tell you, physical activity, as said in the article, releases endorphins that can make you feel better. And aside from that, when you find something you actually like, you find more motivation to start or finish your day, makes you excited, and when you are done with your routine, it does feel like an accomplishment, and as many people have told me, it makes you feel that you can conquer the world, which is so amazing for our minds, besides the aesthetics that also improve our self-image and self-confidence. By permitting yourself to have standards and living up to them, your respect and trust for yourself increases exponentially. You have better, not worse body image because you can't fool yourself into accepting a soft-power version of who you could be. You won't be worried about every tiny morsel of food you put into your body. You won't live your life in a false dichotomy of choosing between being thin and indulgent. Working for or maintaining a slim figure doesn't mean foregoing meals out with friends, your favorite snacks, or lazy days, or an arbitrary exclusion of food groups. In therapy, we do talk about standards, especially for individuals that battle with a low self-esteem. When we work in a better relationship with yourself, it directly means treating yourself better, including how you eat. Regardless of the type of recovery or mental difficulty you're trying to get over, obesity isn't a helpful factor because most of the time, overweight patients are treating their bodies, as they say in their own words, as a trash can because they are trying to handle whatever they are feeling by eating huge amounts of food, which is not functional. When you allow yourself to set goals of a higher degree, your life does improve significantly. Changing your diet to one full of healthy food is not bad as health at every size tries to portray. It teaches you a lot about your body actually, about your preferences. It does help you to be more intuitive with your food choices and enjoy everything with balance. And if that wasn't enough, losing weight as a positive result can help you to feel more free, less stressed, more independent and self-sufficient because you are able to do more things that you could in a heavier body. Models may post candids on Instagram, forcing the faintest of roles to seem relatable, but there is something deeply pretentious about that. It's like giving the plebs a crumb of permission to be average. Well, we know that you are making an explicit attempt to uglify yourself, but you will walk the St. Laurent runway the following day. This just shows us how loud body positivity has been in the last years. They exist in a larger body without expecting criticism, but if thin women post a picture of their body just existing as well, then this movement can call them out for promoting eating disorders and unrealistic beauty standards. Some smaller people have been literally harassed only for living in a slimmer body, and to stop the madness from fat acceptance activists, then they have had to force themselves to have roles in a picture, as the author of this article says. They have been obligated to uglify themselves for the sake of larger individuals that want to be included, but they cannot include someone skinny, which only shows the double standard they hold, the hypocrisy, their unstable mindset, the manipulation and gaslighting they apply to defend themselves, and this is not mentally stable at all. Because someone that has a real mental sanity is definitely not focused on what others are doing with their bodies, the way they eat or work out. Psychologically healthy people are actually just living their lives, focusing on themselves and what surrounds them daily, whether if they share that on the internet or not. But they are not trying to bash anyone that has a different body than theirs. They are busy. They are investing their time in productive things as family, work, their pets, creativity, and you know what else? Physical activity and a balanced diet. The issue is that nowadays many minorities are out there being so loud that other individuals have just decided to be quiet to avoid discussing with others than want to listen a different opinion, even when this one is one that comes from a place of concern. And not only worries about their physical health, because aside of that, obesity has a ton of psychological and psychiatric consequences. I've seen this because of my work, but there are also studies that suggest that. And the thing is that all of this is preventable. You can work to improve yourself and avoid every damage overweight brings. About this article, all that I can say is that skinny people is actually happier. And when I say skinny, I don't mean sickly thin, because that is another topic of conversation. I mean a healthy BMI, a healthy fat and muscle mass index, a body that doesn't make you feel frustrated because it hurts just for standing or walking for a while, one in which you can breathe without difficulties, one that allows you to eat a variety of foods, accompanied with portion control according to your own needs, one that allows you to do your activities independently, and a body in which you feel more than comfortable because you feel great with it. You can style it without issues and helps you to have a healthy brain and mindset. Is there something you learned from this video or that you would like to add to the conversation? Leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone that may need it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you never miss from more interesting psychology content. Thanks for watching.